Yo, what is good YouTube? Matty Dubs here, back with another video, guys, and we have some breaking news coming out of Philadelphia. According to Ian Rapoport, the Eagles are making a variety of different roster moves, opening up a couple of roster spots, and they are deciding to add a defensive tackle out of Florida State, Robert Cooper, to the team. I believe Greedy Williams has just been waived. He's now on the free agent market, and they had an open roster spot, and they wanted to bring in another defensive tackle strictly because Jomo, a defensive tackle who they drafted in the 7th round, had a scary injury during their last preseason game just a few days ago. I believe he was carted off, opening up kind of a hole in their defensive tackle room. They wanted to add another guy, and they do that exactly with Robert Cooper. And in this video, I'm going to, break down why I think that this could be a very solid move, not only for the Eagles, but for Robert Cooper himself. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Before we jump in the video, smash the like button just so we can get this video to more Eagles fans. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the entirety of the offseason, signings, trades, preseason, regular season, training camp, everything. I've got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family, and I'll also be live streaming some games throughout the season. So make sure you guys are here for that as well. But without any further ado, let's get into the video. So Robert Cooper was a former undrafted free agent out of Florida State. I believe he signed as an undrafted free agent to the Seattle Seahawks. They ended up cutting him, and then, he was available for pickup. Now, the Eagles, who, like I said, went through a couple of injuries to their defensive tackle room. They also cut a guy like Greedy Williams, who's now in the free agent market, opening up a couple of roster spots on this team. Now, they look at a guy like Robert Cooper, who is actually pretty productive at his time in Florida State as a, kind of like a nose tackle guy who can come in here and just clog up the middle. He hasn't been the most amazing player in the world in terms of like getting sacks or anything like that, but he's definitely a guy who can sit in the middle and just stop the run. Now, over the last couple years at Florida State, for example, last season he had 19 tackles, 9 solo. He had a couple of run stuffs as well, about 2.5 sacks over his career at Florida State. But this is not going to be a guy that's going to come in here and give you 4 to 5 to 6 sacks. This is a guy who, all these highlights you're seeing are him stopping the run, just getting in there, clogging up the middle, and making sure there's nowhere to go. That is what he is, most productive at. That is what he's going to come here to do, is be someone who can come in the middle and just be productive in terms of stopping the run. Now, the reason I like this the most is, they have a lot of guys that I like at defensive tackle. For example, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Kentavious Street. And then some other guys that, maybe I don't want to rely on too much, like Noah Ellis or Olive Sagapolo. I don't really want to, I can't rely on those guys right now. And I'm not saying you could rely on Robert Cooper, but it adds another body. It adds another guy who could come in here and, just another body, another guy to look at and see if he can make the team. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to 100% make this roster, but this is huge, not only for him, but for the Eagles as well. For him, the reason being, listen, this is where your career is won and lost. Obviously, it kind of sucks because he's not going to get a phenomenal amount of playing time. He's going to have one game, a couple of practices under his belt to see if he can make the team, which is huge. He has to stand out. He has to be, top notch if he wants to make this roster or even the practice squad. Now, for the Eagles, like I said, they're going through some injuries. They have some guys who are going to be out. Obviously, you're not going to want to play Fletcher Cox. You're not going to want to play, Jordan Davis in the last preseason game to, risk injury. So this is, for them, it adds just another guy to look at. And I think that's actually very meaningful for the last preseason game, for the last couple of weeks before the season starts. I think it is going to be something that can make a difference. Now, let me know what you guys think about Robert Cooper. Like I said, this is not going to be a huge move. It's not going to move the needle by any means unless, he comes out and is nasty, which is possible. There's always a possibility that he comes out here, makes a team, and, in 2 years, 3 years from now, the man's a big-time addition. He could be really good. We don't really know how this can pan out, but in my opinion, I think this is low-risk potential, high reward. Worst case scenario, you have to cut him, you lose nothing. Best case scenario, he makes the 53-man roster and contributes. So I think this is low risk, high reward potential. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button. I would give it a B plus move. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're gonna want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.